LuFisto is strong, she's powerful, she's inspirational, she's done so much for wrestling that I think that she and many of you understand, but I think her true impact and influence in wrestling will be understood only in the years to come. Who better to induct her than my esteemed broadcast colleague, the great Lenny Leonard.
I am not nearly that tall. So I've been lucky enough to spend the last 2 decades watching LuFisto perform, and I couldn't think of anybody more deserving of this honor. Because when you think about the Hall of Fame, there's really 4 things that I think everybody being inducted tonight has in common. They have longevity, they have the ability to attract viewers, they have tremendous wrestling ability, and they have historical significance. And LuFisto checks every single one of these boxes. Pro wrestling's had a multitude of performers who've caught lightning in a bottle and have been stars for brief periods of time, but not really able to last and endure like LuFisto has. She's been a fixture in pro wrestling for nearly 25 years, starting back in 1997 as a teenager, and she now continues on in her 4th decade. There's little doubt she's passed the test of time and continues to be active, not just inside the ring, but outside of the ring as well. Taking the knowledge that she's gained over the last 2 decades and passing it on to fans as an expert commentator on women's wrestling and the next generation of women athletes to come down the pike by being a positive force behind the scenes. I think the ability to attract viewers is probably the toughest thing to calculate when you think about independent wrestling. We don't have Brandon Thurston and WrestleNomics tweeting out TV ratings on indie shows. You know, we don't have WrestleTix tweeting out seating charts and building capacities. Although they did it for the show tomorrow, which is pretty cool. But what we do have is the ability to look at where someone's been booked on the card for most of their career. And when you do that for LuFisto, what you see is somebody who has been at the top or near the top of every company she's worked for the last 2 decades. And when a person is selected for a top spot in a company, it shows that they trust and they have the knowledge that her presence on their show meant tickets were going to be sold, DVDs were going to be bought, and internet pay-per-views were going to be purchased. Wrestling ability is another category that can be really subjective when you think about what a fan thinks versus what somebody within the business thinks. Very often you find wildly differing opinions on a person's skill level. But when you talk to LuFisto's fans or peers alike, they'll both tell you the same thing. If LuFisto is on the show I'm watching or in the ring with me, that show or that match is going to be a banger. She has proven time and time again that her commitment to putting on the best match possible knows no limits, and she's a performer that can be trusted filling any role a booker is going to need. If you need someone to wrestle a hardcore match, LuFisto's got you covered. If you need someone to go 30 minutes on top with your championship on the line, LuFisto's got you covered. If you need a veteran to help bring a young talent along, whether as a babyface or a heel, LuFisto has you covered. She's wrestled against the best names, regardless of gender, around the world. In intimate venues like the Orpheum in Ybor City, where she's the longest reigning Shine champ in history, or in front of 17,000 fans in Monterrey, Mexico for AAA. She has entertained and shown the ability to connect with fans around the world through her superlative work inside the ring. But her historical significance is where LuFisto really cements her position as a true Hall of Famer. She, along with women like Allison Danger, Cheerleader Melissa, Mercedes Martinez, Portia Perez, Nicole Matthews, and Sarah Del Rey, was one of the cornerstones of the greatest women's wrestling promotion in U.S. history, Shimmer Women Athletes. And we're going to hear more about this a little bit later, but these women took Dave Prazak's vision for what women's wrestling could be and helped Shimmer lay the foundation for the women's revolution we now see on national TV every single week. LuFisto has broken ground and shattered glass ceilings by having been the first woman to hold titles that were once only held by men. But it was in the courtroom where LuFisto struck a historic blow for equality in wrestling. In 2003, the Ontario Athletic Commission received a complaint about her wrestling men and ruled that LuFisto is no longer permitted to wrestle in Ontario, effectively banning her from the largest area of Canada for wrestling. She very easily could have given up, but instead, went all the way to the Ontario Human Rights Commission and filed a counterclaim. It took until 2006, but the province not only reversed their ruling, but deregulated wrestling in the province completely, allowing women to wrestle on any show against any opponent. For all these reasons, and many, many more I could spend so much time discussing, LuFisto has proven herself to be more than worthy of this honor being bestowed upon her tonight. Mesdames et messieurs, s'il vous plaît, bienvenue la première dame du hardcore, l'innovatrice del intergender, mon cher ami. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame, the First Lady of Hardcore, the innovator of intergender, my dear friend, LuFisto.
Definitely too high for me. Okay. Thank you so much, Lenny. You've been a key person to a lot of special moments in my career. And being such a professional, Lenny always makes sure he knows your story. He asks the right questions. And when I hear that Lenny's calling the action on my matches, I know a good match is going to turn into a great match. Thank you for always making me look like $1 million through your words and your passion. And, sorry, I'm a little nervous right now. You're such a wonderful human being on top of it. So thank you so much for doing this for me tonight. When I've heard that I was going to be inducted in the Indie Hall of Fame, I was speechless for a while. And then I thought, God damn it, I need to get a fucking dress. The last Hall of Fame I was inducted to, the promoter told me, oh, there's no speech. Nobody's gonna induct you, no worries. So I get there and there's a speech and he's inducting me himself. And here I am standing in plaid yoga pants, a shirt, and Doc Martens, while B-Boy, Adam Flash, and Sanjay Dutt are all like right next to me in nice suits. Don't you like a good DJ Hyde story? Right. Professional wrestling has been my longest relationship, a love-hate relationship for 25 years. Through my friend Luke and the wonders of tape trading back then, that tells you how old I am, I discovered the J-Cup tournaments and, of course, independent wrestling. Right from the start, my road has been quite challenging, from my stepfather who told me that wrestling would be another proof that I was a failure, from the first vets that I met that would tell me that it wouldn't last too long in this business. God, were they wrong. From being the only girl backstage and with promoters who wanted me to set up my matches doing bikini contests, I refused. I didn't want to go in the ring with someone who was untrained just for the fact that they wanted 2 pair of tits rolling around the ring. And I would grab my gear bag and my towel and change with the guys. I was like, they're gonna believe that I'm here to be a professional wrestler. I'm not here to flirt. I don't want to become a star. I want to be a very serious competitor. Instead, they label me as difficult, hard-headed, and even a whore. Some of the boys didn't want to work with me, and I wanted to work the guys because to become better as a professional wrestler, you need to wrestle people who are better than you. Chipped teeth, broken nose, my hair lifted from my scalp because my hair was pulled so tight, and not to mention the sexual abuse and comments. I was so determined in proving that women could do this and could do it even better. I wanted Late 90s was the time of WWF divas, and trust me, people were telling me I did not look like them. So, fat burners, making myself sick, and even not eating to the point of passing out just to try to achieve that perfect body that obviously I did not have. I even fought, like Lenny mentioned, the government, so women would be treated as equal in the ring and in front of the law. I'm not telling you all this to be depressed. I just want us to realize, appreciate, and celebrate how far we've come when it comes to women's wrestling. When we were told we were fat and ugly, today, women of all shapes and sizes are celebrated and showcased. When we were told to shut up in presence of abusers, although today it's still not perfect, now we are not blacklisted anymore. We can talk, and we have the whole wrestling community behind us. When we were just an attraction and afterthought, right now, we have our own promotions, we have our own divisions, and even women in charge of those divisions. We are now the main events and the top superstars. We can wrestle who we want, despite the gender, and we can go out there and do hardcore matches without being called a disgrace, disgusting, or garbage, or, ooh, women wrestlers should not do that. Okay, it happens, but it's a lot better than it was. I did not always express my feelings right, and I've learned a lot through trial and error. However, my mission was always the same. Like I said, to prove that we could do it. We could do it better. We were serious athletes. Against all odds, I started to do intergender wrestling in 1997. I became a tag team champion, an Ironman champion, and even a world champion. I am the first woman to ever enter the Best of the Best tournament. The thing people don't know is I was supposed to win that tournament that year, but I got politicked out. The good thing, though, is that night, the fans chose me as the people's choice. So I was the real winner. In a time where women bleeding bucket was not cool at all, I won the Queen of the Death matches against my bloody sister from another Mr. Mickey Knuckles. I was crowned King of the Death matches by going toe-to-toe and getting the 1-2-3 on the legendary Necro Butcher. After the match, Necro took the microphone and goes, "You know what? I didn't hold anything back, and you took every shot. I guess tonight, you're the man." I was the man before the man. Yes. I am still the only woman who stepped inside the cage of death with Lobo, John Zanding. Thank you, John, so much for believing me a lot more than I did. And of course, none other than Nick fucking Gage. Actually, here's a fun fact. Nick would come out every single match I would have at CCW, so I cannot hear For Whom the Bell Toll without nervously looking around and expecting Gage to show up and give me his choke breaker. Is he here? Are you laughing? Is he here? Okay. Some quick thank yous. I want to thank my grandma, Jacqueline, my feisty grandma, for giving me the love of wrestling and showing me what a strong woman can be. At 93, she still tells people to fuck off and flip them off if she has to. Thank you to my caring and loving mom, Diane. She didn't really like that I was a wrestler, but she's always been there for me no matter what. And honestly, it was a blessing to have a nurse as a mother with all the crazy shit I did. Thank you to my dad, Alain, who somehow I know has been with me. Although you passed away when you were 31 years old, and I never got to know you, I sure had an angel looking over me with, again, all the crazy shit I did and still be okay. To know where you're going, you gotta know where you came from. So thank you to the women who inspired me to be a professional wrestler. The vicious Luna Vachon, the very impressive Bull Nakano, the incomparable Medusa, the legendary Akira Okudo, and the fighting phenom, Jazz. To my teacher, Pierre, Eric, Stefan, and Eve, Len Shelley, the Prue brothers, Aquino-san and Mariko Yoshida-san, thank you for your knowledge. To every promotion that let me step in the ring and trusted me, thank you, and I'm extremely grateful for every opportunity. Whether it has been your fan favorite super hardcore anime, your evil champion, your first lady of hardcore, or your innovator of intergender. To my opponents, thank you for trusting me. I hope you had a great experience every time you step in the ring with me, and please know that I gave you my all each and every single time. To my fans, thank you so much. I am extremely grateful for all the love and support you have given me for the past 25 years. Through good times, bad times, injuries, and even illness. In a world where I've been told no countless times, you always tell me yes, and I can still do it, and then I keep going. We love you! I love you. To my death matches, hardcore brothers and sisters, thank you for trusting me for your body. Whether you like it or not, death matches wrestlers are one of a kind. They're a special kind of breed. There is a passion in you that's undeniable, and thank you again for trusting me in such matches. One thing though, please protect yourself. We can still create beautiful chaos and take care of each other. We lost enough brothers and sisters already due to CTE, mental health, and injuries. I love you, Shannon. Thank you. I want to thank my boyfriend, Jean-Michel. He's the nice-looking guy right there. I announced my retirement back in 2019, but I had a much bigger plan. I was quitting everything. I knew the when, the where, and the how. And you came into my life and changed everything. Not only did I not retire this year or quit, but I had some of my best matches ever, and I became the WXW Femme Fatale tournament winner. Thank you for loving me the way I am, even if I know I'm a fucking pain in the ass. Thank you for being my biggest cheerleader. If I'm alive today, it's because of you. I love you so much, you and the cats. I'm absolutely honored to be in that first class of the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame with such legends as Jerry Lynn and Homicide. With Ruckus, who was so ahead of his time when I met him back in 2006. And man, people kept stealing your shit. Tracy Smothers, one of the nicest men I've ever met in this crazy business. Dave Frazak, the man who had a vision that women wrestlers were so much more than just an attraction. Thank you, Dave. Your vision and hard work are key to the evolution of all women's wrestlers. All those women wrestling promotions out there, it starts with Shimmer. Actually, many people on TV do take credit for things that happened on the independent circuit before. The women's revolution did not happen on your television screen. It happened in bingo halls, in community centers, and it happened on the independent circuit. So stop that no TV, no history bullshit. It's about time the men and women of the circuits are celebrated. So thank you so much, JCW, for making this a reality. In the words of the great Percy Pringle III, or Paul Bearer, independent wrestling is the grassroots of our industry. When the roots die, so does the tree. Again, thank you so much, JCW. I know it's getting long, but that's my go-home spot, I promise. There has been a lot of broken hearts, broken dreams, broken bodies, and broken souls among us. Dreams do not always come true, and working hard doesn't always guarantee success, but in the end, the world of women's wrestling as a whole got better and better with time. I hope that my contributions played a part in the evolutions of professional wrestling, that by staying true to my values or for what I believe was right, I helped make the world of professional wrestling a better and safer place for all women wrestlers. I hope that I was able to inspire men and women to follow their heart, to achieve their goals, and staying true to who they are, even if it meant to go against the grain or to fight alone. My past has cost me a lot of opportunities. My intergender past was wrong for the product. My hardcore past didn't give the public a good image. I was too violent for TV. My look wasn't right because I wasn't fuckable. Being a voice for women's rights in wrestling labeled me as a problematic individual. My present is one of a woman that's gonna turn 42 in 2 weeks, who still gives 110% every time she steps in the ring, who never takes a day off. My age doesn't define who I am or what I do. My passion, my heart, my hard work does. As for my future, I hope I'll be able to contribute to the world of professional wrestling for a very long time, in and out of the ring, and I'll be able to help the new generation grow as athletes, but also as human beings. For me, wrestling has been more than a dream. It's been my calling. As for now, I'll just go in the ring once again every weekend, and I'll just keep killing it. Because killing is my business, and business is always good for LuFisto. Thank you.